In this video, we're going to attach, display, and delete properties in a design. So we will be attaching properties to components, and we want to start the PCB editor and open constraints.board if the file is not already there. We will choose Edit Properties. So we go to Edit and Properties. Our user interface appears, and we want to find by name. At this point we have a net here, but what we want is the component or pin. And under the component or pin button, we type in J1. And we see that there are no properties found on the selected element. And we can put this down. The Edit Property menu appears, and we want to click on Fixed. And we also want to click on No Route. So we go down to No Route here, and we apply it. And we see we have Fixed and No Route. We also want to add a hard location, and we see that. We also want to add true to all of these, and that's just a matter of clicking on the button here and making it all true, and we're all set. And if you ever want to delete them, these are the delete buttons here, and we're done. At this point we can say OK to the Edit Property window. In the last lab, you added properties using a form. An easier way to add a fixed property to an object is explained in this lab. You will add a fixed property to the board outline symbol and two B and C connectors. This step can be done while you are defining the template for the master board design. The next thing we'll do is click on this fix icon right here. Notice that we're in a fix mode, and we will click on both of these B and C connectors and the board outline. So to check that we did in fact add fixed properties to these components, we go to Edit, Properties, and we create a window around our components. And we see that the B and C connector has a fixed, this other B and C connector has a fixed, and the outline has a fixed. We did our job. We can X out of that. Next, we will add room properties to components. We want to choose Setup, Constraints, and Constraint Manager. Setup, Constraints, Constraint Manager, Component Properties, and General. And this user interface will pop up. And we want to find photodiode. So if I do a P asterisk, I think that should get us there. And we see photodiode here. And now that we are here, we can get rid of our P, and that should bring us to this user interface with this here, and we want to expand that. For some reason it doesn't like to expand if you have a P in there or anything in there asterisk, but these are the diodes that we want to add a property to. The next thing we do is we highlight all of these squares, and let's put in LED and hit enter, and they all go into the highlighted boxes. The next thing we're going to do is attach properties to nets. In this section of the lab, you'll attach a property to several nets in the design. Choose Edit Properties. So it's Edit Properties. And we want to find by name, and that's going to be a net. And the net we want is VCC. We type that in the little box here. And we see the properties that we have already added. and we're going to add another one. And we scroll down, we want minimum line width here. And this minimum line width is going to be 15. We add 15 to the box. Apply. And now we see that we have a minimum line width of 15, a minimum neck width of 8, and of course the no rat that we had added before. And we can X out of that. So we X out of that, and we can do the same thing for the ground net. G and D, and then enter. And we see that it has the same minimum neck width of 8 and a no rat that we had added before. I'm going to X out of this. And then over here we want to go down to the minimum line width again, which is here. Add this 15. And apply it. And we see that we have the minimum line width of 15, minimum neck width of 8, and of course the no rat. We can X out of this, and we can right click, done, to the edit property command. The next thing we want to do is show the existing properties on the elements in the design. From the top menu, choose Edit Properties. Edit Properties. In the Find window, Find by Name, put an asterisk. When you press the Tab key, a listing of all the nets with any properties attached are displayed. And we can see the A ground has a 15 mil line width and a neck width of 8, and all the way down the line. I'll show you all the nets with any properties on them. In the Show Properties window, we want to save. You see the save icon here, and we're going to save it as net props, and we say save, and that will save it in our project 2 directory. And we can close this. We can choose OK in the Edit Property window. Next thing we want to do is display the properties that we have added, or with the properties that are actually in the board. And if we go Display Properties, right here, and we scroll down to Room Properties, which is right here. And if we click on Show Value, we get this, and all the room properties are right here. We see that the engineer has added rooms to the components through the schematic. The ones that we added were these right here, the D1 LEDs, D3, all the way to D4. And we can delete this menu, and we're very satisfied with that. And we click OK in this Show Property menu. The next thing we're going to do is delete some properties, or at least one property. We're going to choose Edit Property, which is right here, Edit, and then Property. And then we go Find by Name, and we want to do the comp or pin, and we're going to put in J1. And we see that we have 3 properties. And we see we have a no route property, and we really want to route it, so we're going to delete and apply. And we see that it has indeed been deleted. We can X out of this, and we can say done or OK. And we now say File Save to save our board, and we do want to overwrite it. And we can say File Exit. and say yes, and we're done.